was like, oh, okay.
Really?
And that talk kind of introduced us to the New York branch. And I think the timing was just really in our favor because Tidal was getting a lot of pushback because they were so like celebrity heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And they were getting a lot of flack for not, putting on for up and coming artists. And they were kind of, it's like, oh, you guys are elitist and this and that. And they had always planned on, launching the Tidal Rising program. And I think I just kind of came along at the perfect time, to kind of be the first person to be that Tidal Rising artist. They had just premiered something with me that did great numbers. People really resonated with it. We already had this documentary in the works. And so it was perfect. So we filmed the Where I'm From documentary. Really cool. They came out to Chicago. We just kind of went around to fun locations and filmed some cool stuff. Yeah. And, sorry, I
Oh,
got
it's okay.
distracted. Anyways, so that's how that kind of started. And then I became the first Tidal Rising artist, and I had no idea it was going to be as
Yay.
big as it was. They,
Mm-hmm.
I was the face of Tidal.com for like a
Right.
whole week. Like
Mm-hmm.
you went to their website and it was just me, which was crazy.
Yes, I remember.
It was so weird. So we had that, and then they reached out and they're like, "Hey, do you want to do Made in America? We'd love to have you." And I ended up headlining the title stage at Made in America that year. So yeah,
That's crazy.
it was
Made in
amazing, and
America
I
is
got so many
huge.
fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. And I think the coolest part about it is Tidal brought me out to New York for like a photo shoot, and they shot one of my music videos for me. They shot "Forgive Me," which is the ballad on Ruby. So we did that, and while I was out there, it was during the B-side show, like when Jay-Z was doing those two shows in New York, and so I went to those both nights. But the first time I went to the Rock Nation offices, I was standing, kind of by reception, and just waiting to meet up with, who I was meeting with. And JC walks by. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Oh my God, he's really here. Because you never know how involved somebody is in something,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you can hear how great of a guy he is or how much he does, but you don't know if he's going to be at the office on a
Right.
regular,
Hanging
like
out.
Wednesday
Right.
afternoon or
Right.
whatever. And so, yeah, we were sitting there and he walked by and I was like, oh my God, that's so crazy. Like, that's it. So he walked past and he went out the doors and he was like waiting for the elevator. And then he turned around and he looked at me and he came back in and he was like, wait, you're Lili K, right? And I was
Oh,
like,
that's so
oh my
awesome.
God. I like, and I'm trying to like, keep it in. I'm like, yeah, that's me. He's like,
When
oh,
you really
keep it
wanted
up.
to
You're
scream.
awesome. Yeah. He said, keep it up. You're awesome. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And I was like,
That's so
thanks to
dope.
my best friend, Jay-Z. Love you
Right.
forever. And, it was really, really cool. Just to know that he is like that involved in the decisions. And,
Mm-hmm.
we saw, he was familiar with me because they put a lot behind me. And,
Yeah.
it was really cool to know that he is like hands-on and making a lot of those decisions.
Yeah, that's really
And
dope.
yeah,
Talk
I'm
about
still friends with
motivation.
everyone at Tidal, and I always go and see them every time I'm in New York, and they come to my shows and things like that.
That's
So
really
yeah, it
great.
was a really cool relationship that just I think it was just fate had it in store for me, honestly.
Yeah, I find that for I guess it'd probably be a myriad of reasons. Like the UK is kind
Yeah,
of they find out about things in our country, I think, a lot faster than some other people, or they're really supportive of the
yeah,
type of the music that we're doing. And even, I think it was also in 2015, I was actually brought on to, via contract, to do some podcasts for a UK-based podcast
oh cool,
called Sirius. Not to be confused with a satellite radio, but it's actually spelled like Sirius with three S's at the end, if you want to look it up. Um,
gotcha.
but they brought me on because they wanted to have a music journalist on the ground in Chicago interview some Chicago artists, which I did that
So
summer.
cool,
There was about three of them we did that summer: Mick Jenkins, Malcolm London, and Saba from Pivot Gang.
gotcha.
And at the time, Mick Jenkins was the first one that we did, and he was huge over in the UK. And the fact
Yeah,
that they were already on to the point where they're like, we need to get this interview with Mick Jenkins. And there are some people even in the city of Chicago where Mick is who don't know who Mick is. Like if they kind of follow
yeah,
the underground. fan base, for hip hop, they of course know who he is, but anyone that's just kind of in music enough to know what's being played on the radio or, what they see like on TV, they would knew nothing about him, but the UK was on it, and I always wonder kind of like why that is, like how, if it's because of something that they lack over there, or it's because of what they have there that they, tune into what we have going on a little bit, quicker than us. So when you said that the UK
Right.
were the ones that, contacted you, I was like, so there is something to that. A little
Yeah,
bit.
totally.
Yeah. So even let's see, like you have a few mentions even with who do you have, like Vibe magazine. Actually, Vibe quoted you as saying this, well, didn't quote you, quoted about you, this jazz aristocrat has the kind of chops that stop you in your tracks. Now, Vibe
It's so
magazine
cute.
is, yeah, Vibe magazine is something that's been around, for a time. I remember reading Vibe magazine, when I was growing up. And so
Yeah.
that's something, again, like I said, a lot of artists probably wish that they could, tap into, but they have not, already. What do you feel kind of I guess, aid you in that aspect where you have garnered so much attention from, those types of, music tastemakers and influencers? Do you think that it's your
Honestly,
style, or is it you, like your persona?
I mean, it might be a combination of both. Really, like I said, it's we get told no a lot, and we get
Mm-hmm.
turned down a lot. But I think it's when we finally connect with the right journalists and the people who have the power to like make something happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's when things like that happen. That's when the good press starts to come in and when awesome features start to happen. And it's really just getting through to the people who have say, like to the right editors and things like that. And at places like Vibe, there are some writers that are still really in love with soul and with jazz, and it's not all about how popular a song is or what the numbers are on it or how many views the video has. So it's really about connecting with the right journalists and the right editors that really resonate with your music.
Mm-hmm.
And even with Vibe, like I had an in-person interview with them in New York, and so they got to meet me and see my show. And I think that has a big effect on things too, because we do have a really fun live show. And, I always do my best to, when I meet people, come across as myself and being happy and positive and really excited to be there. I'm always so grateful and excited when any press comes to anything. So I don't know if it's charming or what, but
It's a good thing.
it's a combination of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of it has just been, I don't know, I'm happy that the right people have I've crossed paths with the right people.
Right. So kind of being in the right place at the right time type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
what
like
do
a
you...
lot of
Oh, go ahead.
groundwork too, like sending out so many emails and
Mm-hmm.
pitching endlessly and getting told no over and over and over again. But finally you'll get a yes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's not like everything we reach out to happens. We get told no way more than we get told yes. So if anyone, is out there and you're like figuring out like how to get yourself out there and reach more people, it's just about persistence, really.
Right. Right. I'm glad you said that because there are so many artists that give up so quickly, and it's the ones that make it are the ones who choose not to give up and to, stay consistent with, reaching out to, this publication or that publication or this venue or that venue,
Yeah.
even though they're saying no. It's not necessarily being, annoying. We don't want you to annoy them, but but it is about being
Right. It's like
persistent
that
and
fine line,
right.
for sure.
Absolutely. So what do you like most about performing live?
Hmm. I think it's just so much fun,
Mhm.
honestly. I have a really, really good time, and it's like you're creating this special moment that's never going to be exactly recreated. And I'm performing with people I love. I'm really close with my
Mhm.
band, and I consider them, like some of my best friends.
Yeah.
So it's just a really fun experience, honestly. Even if people mess up, or even if I forget words or something, we're having such a good time, and we're sharing this crazy energy. Especially meeting the energy an audience brings. It
Mhm.
just creates like such a magical experience. And I think there's something extra special about it being all live instrumentation. Like we're not going off
Right.
of any tracks or
Mhm.
to any clicks or anything. It's just all being created right there and right then. And so sometimes we'll create like little jams and we'll change the song completely, and it's just creating a really like a once in a lifetime thing.
Right, like you kind of have to be there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's kind of why it's so special.
So let's tell me a little bit about Tommy from your album Ruby.
Tommy. So Tommy is actually a song about my now fiance. He was not my fiance at the time, but I did it. And his name is Clinton. His middle name is Thomas, and so that's kind of where Tommy comes from. But it's just like a cute little feel-good love song. And yeah, we did a really awesome visual for it that my fiance is actually in. He's not the love interest. He's like one of the extras, which is hilarious. Yeah. So yeah, that was just kind of a fun one, and I didn't expect it to be like one of the bigger hits off of Ruby, but I feel like it's always the songs you least expect that kind of hit. But I think it's really just because it's a fun song.
Right. Okay, well, let's take a listen to Tommy then, and we will come back and chat a little bit more. So here's Tommy by Lili K off her debut album, Ruby, and we will be right back with Support the Dope Radio.
So strong, so deep. What you say? I said he's good to me. He's strong, he's deep, and his name is Tommy. Tommy, you're like a book of poetry. Tommy, your words alone excite me. Tommy, don't you dare ever let go of me. You love me. And Tommy, tell me, can you take your eyes off of me? Tommy, let me know everything you're thinking. He said, Blue, sing the truth is you're my queen. Please be patient, baby, I'm working for a ring. I know times are tough, but I'ma give you what you need till the end of time. One for